Hey, hey, hey. Assalamu alaikum. Peace and blessings. What's up, y'all? How you doing? How you living? What's going on? Let me get a sip of water. Some got in my throat real quick. Mm. Hey. I see folks coming right on in this room. Oh, I'm so pumped. I'm so excited. Thank you all for joining me on this Sunday evening. Yes. I hope your summer is going great. For my young people, I know my young people are out of school. I know you guys are excited. I know you're like, yes, woo, get me out of here. Okay. Well, I hope that these read alouds is something that will be fun as well as educational for our young people and, of course, for our wise community as well, because this is an intergenerational space. All right. So we are about to enjoy a read aloud as well as the Kahoot game for my competitive folks out there. You know who I'm talking to. Okay. I know y'all can't wait for that Kahoot game to get started. Woo. Hey, Kenneth. All right. How are you? I got to give a shout out, y'all. Today was our first day of our second our youth virtual book club, you guys. Awesome. Okay, this is the book that we are going to be starting. All right, so they're going to be reading the second series from the JD and the Great Barber Battle series. All right, so this is JD and the Family Business, of course, written by Jay Dillard. All right, and today was our first day. They were able to meet each other online, and they were discussing how they are super excited about being part of the book club. Kenneth, this was his second one, okay? Hey, Sydney, yes, woo! Oh man, this is so exciting. I love it, y'all. Y'all just warm my heart. Y'all just don't know how pumped I get, how excited I get. I look forward to these Sunday evenings, okay? I really, truly do. So just to kind of sum this up again, like I said, we had a great first meeting. We meet virtually 3 weeks in a row. And then the last week, we meet at a restaurant where ABC Read is able to sponsor the youth to a very delicious meal, all right? And they get to discuss the book while they're eating and they're connecting in person. I mean, how dope is that, right? You think they're not going to walk away thinking about reading in a pleasurable way? After all of this great fun and excitement and enjoyment that we're bringing to reading, please, we're helping to create great memories that's centered around literacy. So, with that being said, let's grow. Hey, say yeah, boy. I know that's right. He's so silly, Kenneth. Oh man, I love it, y'all. All right, y'all. So here we go. Let's get into the book. Yes, The Secret Garden of George Washington Carver, written by Jean Baretta, illustrated by Frank Morrison. Okay. For those of you who have been rocking with me consistently, I think it's been about a year so far that I've been doing these read alouds again. And then, of course, I added the Kahoot game as well. But I've read this book. I looked back as I was looking back at my previous flyers that I had sent. I said, oh, I read this book about 3 months ago. But that's okay, because there's nothing wrong with rereading a book. All right. I'm going to repeat that. All right. There's nothing wrong with rereading a book. In fact, studies show that when you reread books, you actually are able to gain more knowledge of that subject that you're reading. Yes, indeed. Okay. So the value actually is in the reread. I got to shout out Dr. Greg Carr, because I remember he's the first person I heard say that. All right. And that is so true. Have you all experienced that before? Where you've read a book, you like, and you go back to read it again, you like, okay, like really get the knowledge. Okay, so that's what we about. Yeah, all right. Y'all know about George Washington Carver. Y'all know about that dope Black scientist, our beloved ancestor, the plant doctor that he was affectionately called. Well, you guys are about to learn about him today. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna take off this jacket so I don't have to keep holding on to it. Okay, bam. These illustrations are dope, y'all. I am an illustrator person, okay? When those illustrations, they get me, I'm trying to find as many books as possible that has that illustrator. How about y'all? Y'all like that too? Kadir Nelson, man, his artwork. That brother bad. Okay, that brother bad. All right, so here we go. Washington, D.C., 1921. George Washington Carver addresses the U.S. Congress. We are just beginning to learn the value of the peanut, Carver told the congressman. Some of them laughed. One man made a racist remark. As a Black man speaking to a room of all white representatives, Carver was not among friends. African Americans were still segregated by U.S. federal law and treated as second-class citizens. Carver had been given only 10 minutes to speak. He gave the audience 10 minutes they would never forget. Carver showed them how peanuts could be used to make dozens of items, including face cream, soaps, ink, cheese, instant coffee, paper, paints, glue, and much more. When his time was up, they were impressed. The chairman encouraged him to continue. Go ahead, brother. Your time is unlimited. Carver spoke for over an hour. From the time he was a boy, he had a deep desire to share what he knew. So then why did he once have a secret garden? Diamond Grove, Missouri, 1874. No one knew about the garden George kept hidden on the Carver farm. No one saw how the child cared for his flowers and how much he loved them. When he watered the clovers, their petals curled up like a smile. The black-eyed Susans winked when he patted the soil around their roots. He sang to the dandelions and they waved to him with their long leaves. People used to tell him that growing flowers was a foolish waste of time. Why don't you grow something you can eat? Neighbor said. You can't make any money selling flowers, said his brother James. They're only good for attracting bees. Don't let flowers take you away from your chores, warned Moses and Susan Carver. George was born in 1864. Like his mother and his brother, he was enslaved on the Carver farm. While still a baby, George and his mother were kidnapped. Days later, he was found close to death and brought back to the Carvers. His mother was never seen again. The next year, slavery was outlawed in the United States. Moses and Susan Carver did not have children of their own and raised George and his brother on the farm. George was a sickly child, which meant less time working and more time exploring. He filled the house with a steady stream of interesting plants and rocks. Susan taught him how to be creative with the little they had. Nothing was wasted. Turkey feathers were used to make sewing needles. They made dyes from nuts and berries. They used plants and leaves for medicine. Every day he ran into the woods to discover something new. I want to know the name of every stone and flower and insect and bird and beast, he said. Education was limited at home. George had only one book which he read dozens of times. I know this book by heart, he told Susan. I wish I could go to school with the white children. Slavery had ended, but U.S. segregation laws still denied Black people the same rights as whites. George decided to create his own classroom in the woods and study the subject he loved most, nature. And no matter how much people discouraged him, he wanted to grow flowers. George decided to grow them in a secret garden so no one could find them or tease him. It became a magical place for him. Tiny seeds went into the dirt and transformed into beautiful flowers. In his mind, the garden was a true gift from God, whom he called the Great Creator. Each day, George rolled the soil between the fingers to make sure it wasn't too wet or too dry. Some plants needed more rain and some needed more sun. Come here. You need a haircut, George said as he cradled a daisy in his hand and clipped off its dry petals. He spread them around the soil to help the flowers grow. At first, the gardening was difficult because he couldn't ask for help and reveal his secret. The more he experimented, the more he learned. George studied each new season by painting the life cycles of the flowers. Berries were used to make paints. Twigs and grass were used to make brushes. He learned how to protect the roots through the winter so flowers could be reborn in the spring. Welcome back, he whispered to the tiny sprouts. It was a special garden and could have remained secret forever. But eventually, the young boy's generosity changed that. When George met a neighbor with a sick plant or flower, he offered to care for it. Part of his garden became a plant hospital. Wilting plants went in and blooming plants came out. No one could believe that such a small child had so many big ideas. Here comes the plant doctor, they'd say whenever he paid a visit. Think of all the people I can help, he told the garden. It inspired him to see their flowers growing side by side with his flowers. George breathed a sigh of relief. There's no need to be secret anymore. George knew there was much to see and learn away from the farm. At the age of 12, he said goodbye to his garden and set off on his own for a new adventure. In Neosho, Missouri, he lived with Mariah Watkins, who gave him advice he carried into adulthood. Learn all you can, George, then give it all back to our people. Over the next 18 years, he lived in several states and attended many schools to study art and agriculture. It was not easy. After being accepted to Highland College in 1885, the all-white school refused to admit him when they learned he was African American. But the young man was determined to get an education. In 1896, George Washington Carver became the first Black man to study and graduate from and teach at Iowa Agricultural College. The same year, Booker T. Washington, president of the Tuskegee Institute, hired him to teach agriculture. When Carver first arrived, he said, everything looked hungry. The land, the cotton, the cattle, the people. Farmers were in trouble. Cotton crops were destroying their land. With little money and second-rate equipment, Carver built Tuskegee's first farming laboratory. He experimented with new crops to replace cotton, like sweet potatoes and soybeans. But the peanut was his champion. It had nutrients to nourish and refresh the soil. He convinced farmers to grow peanuts and then developed over 300 uses for them. It wasn't long before peanuts became the largest crop in the South. Carver also created a traveling schoolhouse called the Jessup Agricultural Wagon to visit poor farmers. It offered everything from tool demonstrations to medical care to pamphlets on how to improve farms and live healthier. In its first summer, the wagon visited over 6,000 people. Carver's advice saved countless farms and families. What would you like to learn today? He asked a farmer. The best time to plow or how to raise a strong cow? Whenever he traveled, people went to hear him speak. After his historic day in front of the U.S. Congress, he became a living folk hero. He was also recognized as an early environmentalist, a voice for racial harmony, and an advisor to world leaders. With his new fame came many awards and honors, yet he remained a humble man, always ready to serve humanity. Since his days on the Carver farm, one thing never changed. Day after day, I spent in the woods alone in order to collect my floral beauties and put them in my little garden I had hidden in the brush not far from the house. Regard nature, revere nature, respect nature. The end. Woo! Yes, and this is a timeline in the back. All right. So of course that explains when he was born and all the different, important points in his life. Of course, when he left at 12 years old, right? And how he became known as the plant doctor. And I love that part, that last part, the last three phrases, right? Regard, what he said, regard nature, revere nature, respect nature. George Washington Carver, y'all, our genius. So I hope that everybody enjoyed the story. Woo! I know, right? All of these different gems, I know, from peanuts. Isn't that amazing? Simply amazing. Okay? And how his respect for the land, for the plants and the flowers, and how he talked to them and caressed them and nurtured them and just poured into them. And that's exactly, and then it's so interesting because that is something that, people have talked about. I guess studies and research and scientists have found that, when you're talking to these plants and this is what's going to help them grow. And this is what helps them to, grow in a way where they become fruitful and all of the things, because they are being nurtured in a loving and caring way. So with that being said, you guys, now it is time for the Kahoot game. So you guys get your devices ready. I am going to share the screen. All right, let me see. Oh yeah, here we go, right here. Do a share. Boom. Boom. Let's see, here we go. All right. Let's see. All right, so now, okay, I have to actually go here. There we go. All right. Host live. All right, so it's about to load and pull up. All right, continue with no island. Click start. All right, click start. Okay, yeah, I gotta put the. All right, so now let me y'all. I got to actually take this. Let me remove that from the. I shared with you guys our. Let's see here. Yeah, we're gonna go to this one. Okay, stop the screen. Okay, bam, there we go. I had to do something different. All right, share. Okay, here it is. Here we go, y'all. All right, and then, all right, cool. All right, bam. All right, so you guys see that? Let me turn my volume up. I can't even really. Okay, woo. You said, can I say the code? Oh, yeah, okay. It is 693-330. So remember, you go to kahoot.it, and all you have to do when you go there, then it'll ask you to enter the game pin. And you guys see the game pin on the screen for those of you who are getting ready to participate. Ashley B, don't forget to be my girl. Oh man, I miss you, sis. Look at you up in the house. Are your kids playing too? Let me know, are they playing? Sydney, Mustard. What's up, Mustard? Where Ketchup at? But corny. I know, corny joke. I couldn't resist. TJ, Kenneth, Sam, CJ in the house. What's up, CJ? How y'all living? What's going on, family? That's what's up. My son, he's taking care of some business right now, so he's not able to play right now. Hopefully he maybe be able to join a little later. This one has 15 questions actually for this Kahoot. And let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6 folks. We got 10 people who are observing. We have 6 who are participating. All right. So hopefully Kenneth, Kenneth, you in. I see you in. Oh, you're listening in the car? Okay, cool. I bet. All right, that's what's up. I love it, y'all. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all getting it in where you fit in, okay? That's what I'm talking about. That's right. You in the car, you outside, you inside, you in the store, wherever. You like, we about to be rocking with our Sunday read alouds, okay? And our Kahoot game. That's what we about to do. I'm missing my other folks. I'm used to seeing Shar and Cotty. Oh, my cat Tuffy just came in my office too. Hey Tuffy. Hey Tuffum Luppum. Hey my little Tuffy. Hey, okay, all right. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. Princess Pretty. Hey, that's my girl. She in the house. What's up? How y'all doing? Yes. Woo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm wondering, can I click start? Are more people coming in? What we doing today? Where we at, y'all? That's what I'm talking about. We getting pumped about having fun with reading Man, please. Man, please. All right, so let me go ahead, go back to the cute. Started? Okay, I'm about to, all right. I'm about to start. All right, here we go. Here we go. The secret garden. All right, so what did the author mean when he said Carver was not among the friends? Responses are should see seven. Yes, that's right. I knew everybody was gonna get that right. All right. Yes. All right. Pretty obvious there, right? Okay, so we're gonna go to next. We're gonna go to next. Oh, let me show y'all. Let me show y'all. Mustard in the lead. Kenneth, right behind Sam, CJ, Princess Pretty. All right. And remember, they only showed the first five. Okay, so shout out to those of you who were all seven of you who answered. Okay. All right, so here we go. Go to the next one. Boom, boom. All right. Why did Carver give this speech to the congressman? So remember from the story, right? What was his reason? What was his purpose? Anyway. Exactly. Oh man, y'all got that right. Well, all right. I'm talking about. All right, must have still got that lead. Kenneth, CJ, climbing. Okay, Sam, Princess Pretty. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Let's do it. And shout out to everybody again. Like I said, all seven of y'all. Y'all ain't no joke today. Oh man. Who waved to George with their long leaves? Who waved to George? The dandelions, y'all. It was the dandelions. No, not the people. Yeah, he had more of a relationship with the plants and the flowers than he did with the people. Yep. Yes, indeed. Let's see. So y'all can see y'all score. Okay, Mustard still in that lead. CJ moved up to second. Princess Pretty right there. TJ, Sydney. Yes, Mustard got a highest answer streak of 3. All right. But you guys are doing great. Everybody, all right? Everybody's doing fantastic on this Sunday evening. What was happening to Black people when George was born? Yeah, yeah. No, they weren't being treated fairly. Not no time during even after slavery, unfortunately. Yes, they were in slavery. Yep. Let me show you guys the score. CJ, all right, rolls up to that first place. Princess Pretty right behind TJ. Woo! Answer streak of 4 in a row. Mustard, Sydney. Yes, indeed. Kenneth. All right, as well. That's what I'm talking about. All right, let me go ahead and share the screen. All right, what happened to George and his mother when he was a baby? I made a mistake and I couldn't put the question mark. That's why that. Okay, no, they were kidnapped, unfortunately. Yeah. Yep. Can you imagine? I mean, you just think about all of just reading that story. It just gave me chills because I'm just thinking, like, man, look at all of that trauma that he was dealing with. And then he still wound up becoming a phenomenal, amazing scientist and inventor and innovator. I mean, just, whoo, wow. Great job. Oh, look at you, Kenneth in third. Okay, look at y'all. Y'all ain't playing. Everybody taking turns like, look, I'm about to move it on up. Okay. Jeez. Yes, they made dyes from nuts and berries. What does the word dye in the vocabulary? Yes, right. So that word die, which as we know is a homophone, right? So it sounds like the word dies, as in being unalive, but they have a different spelling and a different meaning. Okay. All right. Good job. Let's see. Here we go. Here we go. Yes, CJ. All right. CJ and TJ. Hey, y'all twinning with them names. CJ and TJ. Kenneth, Princess Pretty, and Mustard. All right. It sounds so funny saying mustard. That was very creative. Whoever you are, you chose mustard. It's like every time I say mustard, I'm like, I just want to laugh. I don't know. All right. Oh, man. All right. So here we go. Why wasn't George allowed to go to school? Exactly. All right. That is the correct answer. I see maybe a couple of people got booted out because I see only 5 answers, and I know it was 7 of you all playing. So hopefully those other 2 folks are able to get back in. All right. CJ still holding on in the lead. Kenneth right there. TJ, woo, answer streak of slim. Slim. Princess Pretty, Mustard. All right. Let's do it. All right, let's see here. Where did George go to school? In the woods. Remember, that's where he got his education. Yep. And it just, to me, this you talk about this story of resilience, and this story really speaks to not allowing your circumstances to stunt your growth. It takes a lot of perseverance, a lot. And, oh my goodness, you talk about admirable. Wow. CJ, number 1, Kenneth, TJ, Princess Pretty, Sydney, y'all are doing it. Princess Pretty's making a comeback. Look how they recognize. I like that. She sure is, girl. Okay, we say you, we say you. All right, let's see. Why did he create a secret garden anyway? Why do you have a secret garden? We just got 5 people. And hopefully the other couple of folks who were in the beginning are able to come back. Yes, that's right. He didn't want people to find his plants or tease him. Yep. He had to keep it on the hush. Yep. Show y'all the score. Yes, very good. Yes, yes. Woo! Y'all doing it, boy. Mustard on the rise. Okay. Let's see. What we talking about, y'all? This is 10 or 15. Why did the people start calling George the plant doctor? Yes, I knew everybody was gonna get that. Oh, except for the one. Okay, all right. Yes. No, no, no. He was listen. He found his calling, right? Let me show you guys. Look at this. Yes, yes, y'all doing it. This is dope. TJ answer streak of 10 correct in a row. Come on. Look at this. I love it. Mariah Watkins, remember the lady, told George to learn all you can. And then what else? Finish the sentence. What else did she say? Yes. Yes. Oh, I love that part. Mm. Ain't no gatekeeping knowledge, right? She like, you learn all you can and you give it all back. Mm. I love that. That part right there was giving me chills. Come on, y'all. This is great. Y'all are just doing it. All right. Let's see. What two subjects did George study for 18 years? Okay, no, it was art and agriculture. Okay, yes, art and agriculture. Those were the two subjects that he studied for 18 years. Yep. Okay, let's see. So you guys can see. Yes. Check it out. Check it out. I'm proud of all y'all, man. Y'all rocking it out. Y'all rocking it out. All right, we're down to the last few. This is number 13. It was 15 questions total. Who was the man that hired George to teach agriculture at the Tuskegee Institute? Woo! All right. So majority of you got it correct. Booker T. Washington. And I need to share something with you guys. When we went to visit, which is now Tuskegee University, we were able to see George Washington Carver's grave, as well as Booker T. Washington's house. I even took pictures of my kids. We were on his porch. So that was something that was amazing. I think that was in 2015. I want to say that was. Yeah, so that was pretty dope. All right, you got CJ in the lead, Princess Pretty right there behind TJ Kenneth Mustard. All right, woo! TJ got the high streak though. All right, let's see. We down to our last two, y'all. Why did George believe the peanut was a better crop than sweet potatoes and soybeans? Yes. Yes. Yep. Y'all ain't no joke. Mm. All right. Look at that. Look at that, y'all. Woo! Let's grow. Let's grow. All right. So we down to our last one. 15 out of 15, y'all. 15. All right. George created this traveling schoolhouse called the Jessup Agricultural Wagon. Who did he create it for? Yay! All right. Most of you got it correct. That's right. Poor farmers. And remember, they said that he served over 6,000 people after his first, I think it was like that first year of creating it. That I was like, oh, are people just bad like that? Just bad. Woo! Look at that. Congratulations to everybody. Oh, man. CJ, congratulations. You are our first place winner, Princess Pretty. Holla, girl. You. Second place. And TJ coming in a strong third. And of course, everybody. Kenneth Mustard. Who else? We got TJ. Who else am I missing? Yeah, Kenneth and Mustard. And it was a couple people in the beginning. I think it was it Sam or somebody? So, but hey, I just love it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this as much as I do, because I'm telling y'all, I just get so pumped and so geeked for these Read Aloud Sundays and the Kahoot games. I hope not only did you enjoy it, I hope that you gained much benefit, learned some new things. Thank you, CJ. I love when CJ does that. I want us to make sure that we are celebrating each other, right? Good game to everyone. And even though, again, this is a friendly competition, I always remind everybody, come and you do your best. And even if you get an answer wrong, it's all right, because you're going to learn the correct answer. Okay. So that was important. This is what's important. So I'm going to see you guys next week. And I just want to give you a quick reminder for those of you on YouTube. I hope you guys already subscribed to my channel. Again, this is where I upload that we do the read alouds, of course, the live read alouds and the Kahoot game. I also have a podcast called the Reading is Freedom podcast. It was formerly called Real Reading Talk for years. I've been podcasting since 2017. And I talk about the literacy, how we need to create literacy cultivate, I'm getting tongue-tied, cultivate a culture of literacy in our Black and underserved communities. So that's the conversations. I've interviewed a plethora of authors, Black authors. I've interviewed entrepreneurs, and I also come on there and I just talk about different subjects that's related to literacy. So please make sure you check that out. And I just want to share with you guys, I am a co-author. This is the book that I have co-authored with 9 other amazing women called Healed, Empowered, Resilient, Her. You can catch this on Amazon. Go ahead and grab your copy, you guys, okay? And readingisfreedommovement.com. This is where I sell merch. Reading is freedom, okay? All right. Like my shirt that I have on as well. I have hoodies on there. And then I just want to share with you guys the ticker at the bottom, and it is where you can make your donation to the nonprofit organization. This allows us to be able to do things like how we are coming to you live and direct every Sunday using StreamYard platform. Also, we give books to the community. We have parent workshops, the book club, actually. That's another ABC Read project. And for us to be able to do things like provide the meals, the books, because all of the participants, they get their own books to keep. And they get gifts, they get certificates, they have a beautiful conversation at a restaurant. So all of those things, of course, they take money. So that's why we're always asking for people to donate whatever it is that they can, so that we can continue to provide these literacy spaces, so that we can combat illiteracy in our community. So with that being said, God willing, inshallah, next week, I will see you all next week, same time, same station, with a different book and a Kahoot game. Thank you for joining me. And remember, reading is freedom. Peace.